So up to Siman Dalet Sif Chafes. Ein lei mayim. What happens if a person hasn't got water? He should wash his hands b'tzur on straw, on earth, on anything which cleans the hands. You don't want to say al netzilas yadayim. You make the bracha al nekiyas yadayim. And that will help you to light daven. But it doesn't help to remove the ruach ra that is on your hands. Says the Mishnah Berurah. Sifkaten nun hey. But if he does have water, you should wash even for mincha and for mariv. I remember my father used to tell me that when he used to go to a Robert's shir on Wednesday night, the halacha shir, so he would say the shir in his house, and then they would have mariv. But Robert's always used to go out and wash his hands before mariv, and then he would come back in to try and wash your hands even before mincha and before mariv. Even if there's no dirt on your hands, to wash them in readiness for davening. But that netila should be without any bracha. They were only Chazal were only misak in the bracha at shachris. The chedis v'simen zayin sif aleph. What if a person doesn't have any water? Likewise here, you just wipe your hands and clean them with whatever you can. Pen medubik bohem is a dov and mos or zuhama because maybe there's something stuck on the hands which is needs to be removed. But in lekalam b'simen tzadi base of a reish lamed gimel Mishnah Berurah. Okay, you kaneach yadov, you wash your hands, you clean your hands. Even if your hands are, you know that they're dirty, you can go and shal tzachah v'kinech. For example, a person went to the bathroom and wiped. The gam kain mahani, that would also help. But in lekalam b'simen tzadi base, kam tzorech lachza achamayim. How important it is to try and find water to wash one's hands. But offer also to clean your hands in earth. You're on a tiul or something like that, and with grass or with earth or something. Or to clean your hands on a bit of cloth or talis or something. But dad in the kohen, with regard to cleaning, if you're in a place where there is water, then you should wash the whole hands. Bein gabay or bein tekei ad zaperik, both the outside and the inside of the hands up to the wrist, or but the ever die ad safe kishre at spaisov. But the ever you can go until the ends of the hand, ends of the fingers, which are the knuckles. They literally just go, they sort of the tips of their fingers. It needs to be more than that. But the ever, the knuckles, at least the whole hand. So he says, if you're in that situation, you make a bracha not al netilas yadayim, but al nekiyas yadayim. Says the Mishnah Berurah, yesh omrim to gam b'zeh mevorchin al netilas yadayim, and we call makom kol achrenim lo'zolz mipsak hashulchan aruch, i.e. to make the bracha of al nekiyas yadayim. Baruch Hashem, we're living in a world where there's plentiful water, and it's a different world. So that's these things are unusual to come across. Okay, halach chaf gimel. We'll finish off the siman dalet. Lo tiknu netilas yadayim el lekriya shema u'letfilah. Chazal were only masakin netilas yadayim for krishma and for tefillah. Our brachas to shachris yachal levarach keitim netilah. The other brachas of shachris you can make even without netilas yadayim. And imkein hu yashin al mitase arm, unless of course he's in his bed still and unclothed. She'az also haskes Hashem ad shenaka oisom. Then you can't say the shame until you clean your hands. Says Mishnah Berurah, the stam yadayim dahanu she'en yodeh im heim meluchlachim, because stam yadayim in the sifkat nuntes. That stam yadayim, and if you don't know if they're dirty, ain't psulos the bracha, they're not possible the bracha for kolshkin the divrei Torah. The hari mevarchin ala peres ain't sorchin netilas yadayim. You make a bracha on peres, you don't need netilas yadayim. Oraim she'oz mistama yodam mitunofis b'nekias space asar, because there it's inevitable that you touch parts of the body which are normally clothed. U'malbushim shelanu, and our clothes shebeis hatzavar pasuach, where the neck is open. Even if he's sleeping with clothes on, then mistama his hands and metunach kidarka lechakich begufe b'makom za'or, because that's the nature when you're sleeping. You're going to touch parts which are sweaty places or places which are normally clothed. But dafke yashin shenas keva, and it's dafke talking about a situation where you had a proper sleep. Al b'shenas arai ein cheskosa shenoga. Then we're not worried that you touch something. But then in kastam yadayim k'tikshem l'talmud Torah levracha rak l'tefillah, which we said previously was different opinions. but we said was if it's less than half an hour, that's not considered a shenas kama. Sheinaka oisam, it's with straw, anything which cleans. And so to learn Torah, that would be also without cleaning the hands. But I'm a prima godem shekosov da filu yesh lemaim. Even if a person does have water, to say just some brachas and to learn Torah, then some cleaning would be okay. And it's just to remove the ruach ra that you need water. He quotes the Zohar to say that you shouldn't make any bracha without netilas yadayim. If one has water, you shouldn't rely on the kulas just to wipe your hands on the table or something like that. Okay, that is the end of Siman Dalet. Siman Hey is a short Siman. Let's do that. We'll hopefully be able to finish off today. Very important halacha. Kavannahs habrachas. Kavannahs that you have in mind when you make a bracha. And only has one sif. Yechaven the brachas kirish hamilos. When we make brachas, you should try and think what the words. We should think what the words mean. Ksheyaske Hashem. And when you say the Shem of Hashem, Yechaven perish kriyosoi, you should think what the actual Shem Hashem means. Ba'adnus, i.e., when you say Baruch Atah Hashem Yudke Vovke, we call it that the Shem Adnus. We should have in mind Shehu Odain Hakol, that he is the master of everything. Yechaven b'chsivosoi, and you should have in mind, as it's written. In other words, it's not written Aleph Dalet Vav Nun. It's written Yud Hey Vav and Hey, but Yud Hey Shehoya v'Hoy v'Viyeh. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu transcends the whole world. He's above time. He's Hoya. He was. He is. V'Viyeh, and he will be. V'Haskira Elokim. That's the Shem Yud Kei Vav Kei, the Shem Adnus we call it. V'Haskira Elokim, and the second name I.e. Elokim. Yechaven Shu Takif. It is strong. Balai Chelos. He is all able. And has all the strength to do everything. So those are the two shemas, the two main shemas of Hashem, and those are the Pashat Kavannahs. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Sif Katan Aleph, Pirish Hamilos, Kamesh Amr Chazal, Shelo Yizrek Havracha Mepiv Eli Yechavein Beis Hamir. You shouldn't just throw out the bracha. How long does the bracha take normally? The time it takes to lift the coffee cup to your mouth. That's generally the length of the bracha, right? So, but we shouldn't do that. We should have in mind what we're actually saying. Beis Hamira. And you should say it gently. You should say the bracha nicely, slowly, not in a rush. So there are three interesting ha'aras there in the Dirshu notes. Number one, first of all, he says, in the name of the Shlah, Sheyargil es atzma levarech habrachas b'kol ram, ki hakol ma'ir hakavana. So he quotes the Shlah, when you make a bracha, it's good to say it out loud, because that is ma'ir the kavana. Number three, in the third footnote, he says, B'shashem mevarech kosav lekamon, Shekosvu b'gemara, and the Gemara says in bracha, Source liyos pivrekon. You shouldn't have anything in your mouth when you're making a bracha. If you're chewing a sweet or chewing gum or something like that, you should take that out. Your piv should be open. Why? So it says in Tehillim, Yemale pi tilosecha. My whole mouth should praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And v'hoisiv shegemara zu lamat sefer ha'eshkol. The sefer ha'eshkol says, shetzorich levarich b'male piv v'lo legamgem. That you should therefore use your whole mouth. And therefore, to mumble a bracha where you're not using your whole mouth, you've got to, any speech therapist will tell you, you've got to use all aspects of your mouth to articulate yourself properly. And therefore, you shouldn't sort of stumble over the bracha. Okay, let's go to carry on Mishnah Berurah. V'zeh loshen sefer chasidim. You have 3 lines in. V'zeh loshen sefer chasidim. Kasher notel yadav on mevarech al haperos. When you wash your hands or you make a bracha on peros, all the mitzvahs that we sort of fly out of our mouths the whole time. You should have in mind when you're saying the bracha, the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he has given us the peros, or the bread, that and he commanded us to keep mitzvahs. And we shouldn't just do things by rote, without thinking. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gets angry with us. He sent Yeshaya the Navi to tell us, because these people drew close, but their mouth and their hearts, they're serving me, their mouths and their lips are serving me, but their hearts are very far away. I.e., sometimes that's applicable when we say brachas. We're just going through the motions. It's lip service, literally. We're not actually thinking what we're saying. But there is a heavy punishment for that. Now, if you look at note 4, this is quite a often quoted Sefer Hasidim. The Dirshu note 4 says, a scary story. There was a story of a person, Shemes, who died. He died prematurely. After 12 months, he came to one of his relatives in a dream. How things in the Olam Ha'emes. Every day I'm being judged. I'm being judged every day for the brachas that I didn't say with Kavannah. So it's a scary thought. So Baruch Hashem, Dirshu, we're learning. We can rectify it. We can try and have Kavannah. It's hard. It's very hard. Okay, next halacha is very important. So he's talking about the kriyas of adnus. So it says the Mishnah Berurah Sifat Beis, Ki Hashem hanichbed v'haneira also likroseb kichsavai. It's also to say the shame of Yud Kei Vav Kei as it's actually written. Yeah. It's a very strict halacha. Ella, tzarich likrosei ki'ilu hayakos of shame adonai. Right? It's got to be written as if you're saying that and not Yud Kei Vav Kei. The gam benekudas adonai. The Aleph b'chataf patach is the Aleph. Underneath the Aleph is a chataf patach, which is right? Not o. Avaloi b'fatach levad, oy b'shva or a shva, but you say right? V'hadalet b'choylom, right? So it's doi. V'hanun b'komotz is noi, right? V'yadgish hayud, and there is a yud there, which needs to be pronounced. Shetei nikeres yafe. Rak b'kavannah lekavannah l'shem havoy. So whilst you say that Aleph Dalet Nun Yud, but you're actually thinking Yud Kei Vav Kei, like we said above, like Mechaber says that his Adon Hakol and Hoyav V'yeh, and he's transcending everything. That should be the machshava when you're saying the Shem Havoya. The Tama Nagina hu Milara is what we say, right? And the Tam of the Nagina is the Milara, which means on the latter part of the word, not on the Aleph, but on the Noi. Yeah, the pronunciation, the emphasis should be Milara. Okay, Gimel, Shehoya, Bever Hagor Kosov. According to the strict halacha, the strict din, you only need to have the pirish of what you're reading. The kriya, i.e., what are you actually reading? You're reading the kriya. Even though in the written things there are tremendous sodas, lavad b'kriya shema. The only exception to this is in kriya shema. Shom tzarich lechavin gamkein shehoya. In kriya shema, it's very important. So in the first pasuk, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. In Hashem, we should have in mind Adon Hakol Hoya Hoya V'yeh. That's it. Ein Shom. That will please God when we get to we'll discuss Kavannah's and Krishma more, but that's the basic thing. Of a Makom Shenichtav B'Alef Daled, i.e. not Yud Kei Vav Kei, L'Kula Amei Tzorich Lechav Elishu Adon Hakol. When it's actually written, not Yud Kei Vav Kei, but Alef Daled Nun Yud, then we only have to think what it actually means, i.e., Adon Hakol, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the master of everything. Interesting. If someone's telling you a story about the chesed HaKadosh Baruch Hu did, and he says the Shem Hashem, he wants to finish off the story, what Hashem did, you shouldn't stop him. Why? Because maybe he won't finish off his words, and he's just saying God's name in vain. So therefore, let him be Mesapeh B'chasdei Hashem and don't cut him short. But if on the opposite, he's trying to mekalel, he's trying to curse someone, then to stop him short, we won't be over this on him. So that's the end of Simon Hay, and tomorrow we start with the halachas of Ashiyot, so very important, very relevant halachas. Go ahead.